Hi YouTube, Mick here. Alright, this will be the third series I think in regards to evolution of gear, and what it is, it's fire making, and how I've kind of first started making fires to how I make fires now, and I'll go through it very quickly. So first, the fire implements, or the actual flame or spark. You know, I'm a smoker, and in my first days of hunting and going camping, all I used to do was use a lighter, and most of the time, and sorry I couldn't find all the materials, but most of the time with the lighter I would use newspaper and light the newspaper up, and then shove all the sticks and everything on top of it and get a fire going. In most cases it worked. It took a while to get it done because the newspaper would burn out quicker than the actual wood would catch fire, but generally it would work. And I'm talking about 20 something years ago. That's what we used to do. And I guess along with that, sometime when that didn't work, we'd grab some metho or mineral terps or whatever, pour that all over the paper and give it an extended burn time, even pour that all over the wood and light it up, and that's a fire, you know, and light it up that way. That was in our young and dumb days, I guess. Then, you know, matches, you know, we go, okay, well, let's use the good old match, you know what I mean? Sometimes stormproof matches, sometimes just normal matches. Same concept, light up a piece of paper, or even maybe waxed cardboard you get from like fruit shops and stuff, and do it that way. And again, if it was windy, you had Buckley's trying to start it, and blah blah blah. And I used these two systems for a very, very long time. And with the paper, you know, newspaper or the cardboard that was kind of wax coated. And then, you know, it wasn't until I really started watching YouTube, and I don't understand why I never thought of it, but I started getting to the, you know, the cotton wool balls. Okay, cotton wool balls. You know, and that was without soaking Vaso at that stage, and light the cotton wool ball up. But again, it would burn too quick, and you know, it burnt out before I could even get a fire started. So then I discovered getting cotton wool balls and soaking it with Vaso gives you that extended flame, and away we went, and fire was created a lot more quicker. Sorry, I went off the subject there. And then, you know, a few years ago I discovered ferro rods, ferrocerium rods, fire steels, whatever you want to call them. You know, and most of the time I use, you know, the cheap ones you buy from eBay or the internet, and they work great. I've got no issues with them. I still use this style of striker all the single time. You know, either it's clipped to my bag or clipped on my belt loop, and it's just hanging off me in my pocket. Still use it to this day. You know, I've got probably about 20 fire stills in different packs lying around in my shed. You know, I've got heaps of them, and I would guarantee and put my life on a fire still making a fire. I just would, because I'm just so used to using them, and I love them to death. You know, so, you know, I'll put that in my bag, put it in my PSK, hook it on my belt. You know, then, you know, maybe make a necklace out of it, always wear it around my neck, so it's always with me. There's no chance of losing it at all. And, you know, I soon discovered that when you do get the strikers, you always, in most cases, have to grind the striker down to get a really, really sharp 90-degree angle, so you can get some real good hot sparks coming off that ferro rod. Then I started getting into, you know, the more expensive brands, like this one here. I think it's, I can't remember the brand name, but Dave Canterbury sells them. You know, nice and thick, you know, nice striker, no need to grind that one down. Bang, 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 you've got a fire, and you've got heaps and heaps of strikes with this fire still, you know, and a little compartment to put tinder. So great. I don't usually carry this in my pocket. These are usually put in a bag, a pack, because, you know, 100% of the time, I've always got one of these in my pocket or connected to my belt loop or around my neck. Always. You know, then you get into the other kind of brand names, you know, Bear Grylls Fire Striker, which is a great fire striker. I cannot complain about it, but I had to grind this down to make sure it gets a lot of sparks. A little bit thinner than this one, but you know, it still does the job. Okay, so that's kind of my evolution on fire, with, I guess, this kind of stuff. And then the funny thing is that as I go from modern kind of technology being a lighter, matches have been around forever, I guess. Ferro rods, I'm not sure how long they've been around, but you know, I would call that kind of a modernish style of fire lighting. Then I seem to go back to kind of not primitive fire making, but I guess old school fire making, you know, and you know, the good old char cloth tin, if I can get open, good old char cloth tin with a magnifying glass, so to make a solar ignition fire. And I tend to use this quite a bit. Why? Because it's fun. It's just fun to use this style of fire lighting, you know. Get the char cloth, you know, with an amber, make a bird's nest and blow it into flame. It's just fun to do. And it's good doing that to test your skills, just in case you don't have one of these on you. I still have yet to get myself a flint and steel striking thing. I will eventually get one of those and have fun with that. Same concept with the char cloth anyway, just using flint and steel instead of a magnifying glass or a ferro rod. And then it comes to, you know, my tinder, or yeah, my tinder and what I'm igniting. So again, I went through the cotton balls, went through the wax cardboard. You know, then at one stage I was lighting up a candle, obviously with a match or a lighter, and putting that underneath the pieces of wood and letting it burn. Took forever, but worked. You know, then got into making my own fire discs, I call them, which is just, you know, your girlfriend's or wife's makeup cleaning cotton discs, soaking it with wax, and that is surefire. We all know what it is. We all know it's waterproof. You can dunk that in water, shake the water off, rip it open, and it would light every single time. We all know about that. You know, and then I start making little tins and, you know, have at least 5, 6, maybe 7 fire discs in certain packs. And, you know, then you get into the old kind of, you know, Dettol, you know, fuel extender, you know, liquids or stuff to enable a spark to ignite a flame quicker. So again, Dettol mixed with this, or mixed with whatever, or even finding, you know, bark or whatever, pouring some Dettol on it, or Vaso, and striking it up and getting that extended burn. And then again, funnily enough, my preferred tinder at the moment, and for a long time, is paper bark, which I carry paper bark in a couple of my packs, and I've got to actually carry a little bit more paper bark. I should actually take it out of this plastic bag, just in case it might sweat inside there and make it damp. You know, I might make myself a nice little cloth little sack and then put this tinder in there, or maybe make a nice little leather tinder pouch. We'll see. But the good old paper bark ignites every time. 1-2 strikes and it's lit, and it burns for a decent amount of time. You know, you've got your Instafire. Yep, your modernized fire starting product. Works great. You know, it's in a nice little flat packet, so you can take it with you. Will help you burn, you know, wet wood and stuff like that. But, you know, I've tried it. I haven't really used it out in the field. I've just lit it up just to see how it goes. But it is there in a couple of my packs just in case I'm not getting the fire going. For some reason it's not going, you know, I probably will dig into that. And then you start going, okay, well, you know, I've got my ferro rod, you know, I can use my natural tinder, but then you go, okay, I want a full-on fire kit, you know what I mean? So, you know, I started making my own little fire kits. And, you know, I've got many different size fire kits. You know, I mean, I've got this little fire kit, being a solo ignition fire kit with char cloth. Obviously, we'll still work with the ferro rod. You know, I've got my now. Well, I've got heaps of these. Maybe half the size, maybe 3/4 of the size, but you know, packed with all the little goodies. You know, many different ways of starting a fire: ferro rod, lighter, matches, duct tape, fire discs, cotton wool ball. You know, windproof matches. You know, some cotton to make char. You know, giving myself the options of many different ways of making a fire. And again, travels in my kit, in my bags and my packs and stuff like that. So I guess that's how I've evolved from making fire in my young days up to now. And again, maybe it's my age, I'm 41. I'm starting to get into the more traditional way of making fire because, as I said, it's just more fun to do that, for me anyway. But always have some sort of little fire kit. Always have different methods of making fire, just in case one fails. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that little evolution of my fire devices and tinder. And yeah, hopefully you guys look forward to the next one.